Propane from my friends?
Yes.
Oh, I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
Hello and welcome to the Enginerdy show.
Oh, we're starting?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, usually I start. That's why I was confused.
You were in a side conversation when I hit the button, and I was trying to see you, but you were
Did you hit
ignoring
the other
me.
one?
I saw
What
you
other one?
signaling.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going? We're live?
Oh yeah,
Oh, we're
we're
going.
live.
Hi, I'm DVD.
We're live
I'm
in
Mr.
your living
Pold.
room.
And together we are the Enginerdy Show.
A weekly podcast about culture, technology, news, and
You didn't do
media.
it.
Oh well, I was introducing the show.
We're so unprofessional.
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
We're
Unprofessional.
Oh,
unprofessional.
that's more than professional.
We're hypo-professional.
That's not what I wanted you to do.
Ultra?
No, hypo.
Hypo
Rather than
means
hyper.
less than or below.
But we're more than weekly, though. We're strongly.
Our-
Yes.
See?
Our fake sponsor this week is Salsa, the spicy sauce from Female Pigs.
Sweet!
Nice. We didn't even plan that. He just did it.
I just did it.
Good job.
So I did some research on the night flyer.
Oh, more research on the night flyer.
Was it on whether the tail number for the airplane was an actual legitimate tail number?
No, they use a standard fake one in everything.
Oh, it starts with 555.
Yeah. No, but I went to the YouTube
One Lima
video
Bravo.
that we tried to watch that the audio was lagging by
Yeah.
like 5 seconds, and it within 2 minutes it was caught up.
Oh,
So we
it's a
can
test.
watch it.
Then it was the other way. Where it was that shoulder
No,
shot.
I don't know what happened after that, but I did see somebody get slashed. So
Oh,
There
was it Slash
there was blood.
from Guns N' Roses?
No, it was
Formerly
the-
it was
of Guns N'
Flash.
Roses?
From
Annoying.
Flash.
Guy,
Oh, the guy that...
Airport
get off
guy?
my runway, you
Yeah.
darn kids. Guessing it was a young
Was he
plane.
threatening them with a butter knife?
Hopefully.
Like had happened to me in DVD once.
Oh, really?
You remember that?
No.
On the way home from school, we walked. It was on like a mile walk, and we'd always cut across that corner of this guy's yard. Well, he came out, get off my lawn. He had a butter knife.
I don't remember that at
and
all.
I kind of told him to mind his own business or something.
This is our lawn now.
You're
Maybe-
gonna cut me?
Maybe he was in the middle of buttering something
Maybe.
Those dang kids.
and
But
didn't have time to set the knife down.
It's a joke, but it actually happens. Get off my lawn, people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I felt old when I yelled at a car, slow down on my street.
I guess if I saw a teenager cutting across my yard every day, I'd probably...
Yeah,
Be
and you don't live on a
crotchety, too.
That's why I
corner.
just built a fence.
Yeah. I just build a wall.
Yeah, it keeps them out.
You know, I tried to locate that when I was in Texas, like what yard it would have been, but I couldn't recognize.
Oh yeah, by now that guy's probably long dead. Hopefully.
Do you say lawn dead?
Lawn dead.
His lawn dead. His lawn was dead. No, just kidding.
Yeah, because he kept walking on it. Because you know how much
There were
lawns
no
hate being walked on.
crosswalks. We just had to cross this busy 5-lane road
Yeah, just run across it.
whenever there's
Hey,
a chance.
you don't need crosswalks in Texas because pedestrians always have the right of way.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite.
Nope. It's up here that you're totally fine hitting somebody if they're not in a crosswalk or in a corner. That's his fault. He crossed in front of me on the not at the corner.
I've heard from someone that went there recently that in London, if you are crossing the road, you're as a pedestrian, you're taking your life in your own hands.
Well, they even have signs telling foreigners which way to look for
Yeah.
traffic.
But basically, cars do not yield to pedestrians at all.
Well, someone take their own life in their
Crosswalk
own
or no?
hands.
So my son was telling me this story of this.
About a man named Jed.
No, it was
He poured
a
down there and barely kept his
shooting
family.
at a church in
in
Texas.
Texas? Yeah.
And
I heard, did no one heard about that because they didn't put
the
it
way
in
he
news.
was, well, we saw clips from the news that he was showing us on YouTube.
Probably
but
local.
CNN had a story on it. But anyway, it was two of the most Texas guys that you could imagine that stopped the shooting from.
Yeah,
going
one of
further.
them was like an NRA instructor that had an AR-15, grabbed his rifle,
In
I
church
think
with
barefoot,
Yeah, he
ran
ran
across
out.
to the site and was shooting at the guy. The guy took off in his truck, and he hopped in his truck. And
Chased
I
him
guess you're gonna
down.
tell the story, not me.
well, I heard an interview from the guy,
Get him, Cletus.
Yeah, I saw
like a
interviews
long format.
of that guy
Like
and the
half-hour.
guy that happened to be sitting in his truck at a stop sign that he flagged down.
All right, it wasn't his pickup. That's right.
He commandeered a vehicle.
Well,
Yeah.
he opened the door and said, "That guy just shot up a church. We need to go get him." He's like, "All right, jump in." And
They're awesome.
this guy, he had this huge neck tattoo. And
My name's
stuff, and
Cletus too.
He just looked like a total redneck,
Yep.
except whatever tattoo he had on his neck. But anyway, he's just like, "Okay, let's get him." So they by that time they had lost sight of him, but they were driving at high speeds, 90 plus miles per hour, passing cars till they finally caught up to him. And
Ran
yeah,
him off the road. I heard when the cops showed up, he had his AR-15 trained on the
Right.
car, and the cop's like, "Show me your hands." So he starts putting it down. He's like, "Not you."
like you stay in and
You
and
stay where
keep
you are.
him.
Cover him.
Yeah, keep,
Cover him, Cletus.
Yeah, the guy had an AR-15 himself. The guy that was shooting up the church, and the police. I don't know if they carry those. Probably not. They have probably shotguns and pistols. They probably appreciated the guy's help.
well, by the time he came out of the church, he wasn't brandishing the
He had a pistol or something.
yeah, he had like a pistol. And he got a couple shots into him. Like one hit his leg, and I think one got his side, like because he was
I
wearing
think that's why he crashed.
he was
eventually.
wearing armor,
He
like
lost
body armor.
Hmm.
But one of his shots was able to
Graze him.
graze him past the body armor or whatever.
Hmm.
And he didn't know he hit him or not. But
That's why you should always be packing when you go to church.
That's not one that like.
Well, his
people that
daughter
want
had
gun
heard
control stuff
noises.
want out there.
had heard noises, like she came up to him and said, "Hey, it sounds like gunfire outside." He's like, "What?" And so they opened the window and it's like, "Oh yeah, it is." So he started
Putting his
loading
gun together.
Well, he grabbed his gun and started getting his ammo put in, and it was like kitty corner. They were kitty corner from the church. So
There's also a guy in Texas that there are two guys. I think they were terrorists. Showed up and they're going to shoot up this event. And before the cops get to them, the people at the event killed them with no injuries to the people at the event.
Nice.
Texas is not a good place if you want to try gun crime because there's a lot of people with guns.
Scandal.
Anyway, it's a really cool story. I like it.
I don't remember how long ago it happened, but
It was less than a year ago, I think.
oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of annoyed by the amount of press that was showing up at his house.
I bet.
afterwards. So he talked to one of the radio guys I listened to, like a long form, like a whole segment type deal. What are you doing?
I'm chatting.
You're chatting. You
But
can do
yeah, the
that?
interview with the guy in the truck, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, the guy's awesome.
Because he's like, "What did you think when he opened the door and said that to you?" He's like, "Well, I
Well, hop in, let's go.
we had to go get him."
What else you do?
Yeah, that's what you do. And his
Uh.
girlfriend was there, and she was saying how proud she was of him.
Nice.
So, yeah. Anyway, thought that was when we were talking about Texas. That was like one of the most Texas things.
Remember
Yeah.
when I lived
I'd
in
heard it
Portland, there
recently.
was I think two felons, ex-cons, that were on a train and they saw this guy that had been on the news of being wanted. So they like tackled him to the ground and held him for police. And see, these hard guys that looked like someone you wouldn't want to meet on the dark road, telling a story about how they captured this wanted fugitive. It's pretty funny.
So you've heard of the mini NES console that came out a while back?
Yeah.
Well, they're coming out with a mini PlayStation 1
Classic
console.
Oh, I never owned one.
Oh,
I had one.
I had one.
Had to sell it in order to buy a PS2.
Oh,
So you can pre-order it, but they aren't going to tell you what games are on it.
oh, they're not going to.
Well,
Well,
there's 5 that they've
They've
told.
announced 5. There's
Oh.
going to be 20 total.
Like what are the games? I'm not familiar.
One
with.
of them's Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay,
One
I
of
never
them's
heard
like
of
a racing race car game.
Ridge Racer or something.
Ridge Racer Type 4 or something.
I didn't recognize any of the other titles. Tekken.
Tekken 3. Tekken. So like a fighting, like brawling type game.
Button mashing game. That's what that's what they turn into for me.
Yeah. I saw that. Thought it was interesting.
$99, right?
Yeah.
Seems a little steep.
I don't think I'm going to be buying one.
How much did the original PlayStation cost when it first came out?
It was
$120 maybe? We'll probably have to find that information.
And so would they be able to add more games to it than these 20?
Although it did have that one game I've probably talked about before, the Star Wars game where the vehicles were inverted and the shooting part was not.
Oh.
Talk about a mind trip. Oh, they were $300? Not when I bought mine. I bought mine after they'd been out for a long time.
Yeah. Huh. You can get one for $14 on eBay.
Yeah, just get one of those and you can have as many games as you want.
Right.
I don't have much banter because I was pretty much sick all week.
Oh, tell us about it.
I was sick.
We had a birthday party for my lovely wife.
Oh yeah, I did come to that.
Yeah, me too.
We had a pie party.
Yes, and I was disappointed that we weren't there to throw pies at his wife.
Right.
And it's end of September and they don't have pumpkin pie yet.
Well, that could have gotten an Albertsons one or
don't do that.
Walmart one.
No.
We would have thrown that in your face.
But the ones I've had from there before sometimes taste like they have soap in them.
They're bad.
They're not.
If they have any flavor at all.
Another place we went that sells pies and is a cafe they're like, we don't have those yet or this season.
I might have to just make myself some pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Except then I'll end up.
I forgot a lot of things. I also forgot I wanted to get whipped cream. And I was gonna get cheesecake.
The Marionberry pie was pretty good.
That is, I bought 2 of those.
I was looking forward to the professor pie, but I'll settle for Marianne.
I had the pecan.
It always reminds me of the governor of, or the mayor of Washington D.C. from the '90s, named Marion Barry.
Oh
yeah,
they got arrested for cocaine, I think. Like he was a drug addict, and then got elected again.
Yeah,
like a few years later.
Well,
I did play some Lego Batman though. With my daughter.
It's fun.
Yeah. We ran around and I was Superman, she was Batman. So
I stopped playing those games with my kids because they'd never let me actually play it, and they try to tell me what to do all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my daughter's not like that with me.
Yeah. My kids just got bored with
it. So I just get back at them doing that with life.
Tell them what to do all the time.
Spoil it for them. You turn 16, you get a driver's license.
Spoilers, Dad.
In fact, it made Zach so upset that he decided not to get his until he was 19.
I'll show you.
Did you let on that you were going to have him drive everyone around when he got his license?
No, the problem was he got offered an opportunity to go to Japan with his Japanese class in high school, but the trip was $4,000.
Oh.
So he said, well, you can we're going to get you a car or you can go on that trip. So he chose the trip. And then we asked him about it. He's like, my friends all have driver's licenses. Which was true. And it did save me a bunch of money on my car insurance. Way more than Geico would.
I was going to say.
So how's he doing?
As far as I know, fine.
He's still alive?
Yep. He's living off of his savings that he had, trying to find a job. He does have one that he could take immediately for a moving company that one of his roommates works for.
Yeah.
Or a couple of them do. The guy is really...
So if he gets desperate enough.
Yeah.
Well, he'd get in good shape.
He can make it through December. So he's got a couple leads on some things he's trying to get. He's trying to get like a night stalking job.
Oh.
How about you like flyer
hide
job?
in the bushes and look in people's windows and stuff?
I'm hoping it's actually putting materials on shelves of stores at night. And he wants that because it'd be good for school.
I actually did that job for 3 hours.
I know you had a cardboard allergy or something.
Well, I was coming off of a long illness and the smell of the cardboard dust was making me nauseated. So I just, at the first break, said, can't do it.
I told him UPS would be a good part-time job like that because that's where I worked.
Get in shape doing that too. Moon
St. Jimmy and
boxes.
I both worked at a furniture store.
Oh, I
We
was in
delivered
good
furniture.
shape when I was doing that.
Or you could just have to dry her up on your shoulder and carry it in the house.
I wasn't quite that.
That's what I would do.
At the peak of that job, I got up to 135 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
I had like less than 5% body
Well, you were
fat.
in high school, right?
Yes.
Oh, I graduated high school 130 pounds.
I did it high school and post high school
Oh, okay.
until I started having back problems.
Yeah.
So
I know UPS was like getting paid to work out for 4 hours.
Yeah.
A day. With trying to remember numbers.
The one thing I liked about the furniture store job was half the time we'd spend in the truck driving around.
yeah.
That's different than the UPS job. You spent the entire 4 hours moving boxes.
Yeah. It would be like, move furniture for about 15 minutes, drive around for half hour.
I think that's the only time I've ever had a time card. You had to get punched.
Oh, I've never done that. The closest I've had is getting to work and having to like log in your start time in a computer.
It was funny. There was a big, like, everyone trying to jostle to try to get to the time clock first, but on the way home, very lackadaisical getting to the time clock.
Oh yeah.
Every last minute you could get. No, go ahead.
No,
I
after
had
you.
time clocks at a couple of my jobs in college. One of them, I think it had a timestamp on your badge when you swiped in, which I got talked to by my boss one time because it was showing that I was badging out 5 minutes after the shift ended, and nobody else badged out that early. You must be leaving early. I'm like, no. It takes 5 minutes to walk to the locker room, put my smock away, and walk out the front door.
Do you want to time me?
It's like the reason other people aren't leaving as quickly is because they're stopping and chatting with their friends. I have to get to school.
Not to have friends.
I'm going to school for mechanical engineering.
Right.
I don't have that
They
problem.
don't allow you to have friends.
I was talking to somebody earlier about I'd sent a request to have some mechanical engineers work on stuff that relates to my job.
Uh-huh.
And they got it done like a couple weeks ahead of time. I was like, I should just go up and give her a big hug. But she'd probably like freak out, like start shaking, convulsing, and maybe burst into flames.
Yeah.
Then I decided that electrical engineers I always picture as like Luna Lovegood from that's just not my picture of electrical engineers.
Just be gentle with mechanical engineers, okay?
Probably the Nargles.
Yeah.
My daughter made me really proud today. She's like, I don't like it when people come up and talk to me.
Which one? Your youngest?
The oldest one.
Oh, the oldest?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm right there with you.
Like, do you want to go to engineering school?
Well, because we were talking about different times when people walk up to you with talk to you about weird stuff. So I was in Walmart the other day, and I think I got separated from my wife, and so because I was looking for something
Legally or
no.
Oh,
I didn't know Walmart offered that service.
But as I was looking for this other thing, that's cool. So I'd grab it. Pretty soon I had an armful of groceries because she had the cart. And so I was walking down the aisle, in the main aisle, trying to find where she went. And this
human,
that's a polite term for it.
Oh, ouch.
Rolled up in one of those
you know who you are.
Driving carts with the basket on the front.
The Rascal Mobile?
The
Yes.
bumper car.
The bumper cars. And she stopped and she said, "Can you get me some milk?" And I'm like,
not lactating currently. I can try.
First of all, I'm like, had my arms full of things. I'm like, you need help getting it out of the case into your cart? She's like, I got a toothache. I'm like,
what? You shouldn't
okay.
be drinking milk then.
That was a totally
Go
unrelated
see a
comment.
dentist, not milk.
And she was showing me this milk that some kind of weird almond milk, or I don't know what it was.
for people with
I don't know.
toothaches?
I know almonds
I
have
don't know,
nipples.
but then she's like, "So can you help me get milk?" I'm like, "You want me to get it out of the case and put it in?" And then she pulls out this handful of change. She's like, "I only need 75 more cents." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have any change," and I walked away. It was like,
I'm from this century. I don't carry
So
money.
apparently, when she asked me if I could get her some milk,
She
She's
wanted
asking
you
if
to
I could
buy
buy
her
some milk for her.
You gotta know how to speak if you want to.
Well, later on in the store, after I checked out, I saw her walking in the store.
Well, you
Apparently
shouldn't have tipped her cart over.
The taser is probably too much.
So
You didn't have your
Yeah.
headphones in?
Yeah, why don't you wear
I-
earbuds in the store like a normal person?
I was shopping with my wife.
I lose my wife too all the time. But I'm walking with the cart and she's right next to me, and then pretty soon I walk and I'm like, where did she go?
Oh. I always keep mine in case we get separated, then I can put them in.
Oh.
I just look mean. No one ever wants to talk to me.
A lot of times I do walk.
And you're the one that doesn't mind people talking to you.
I do put on a face like "Don't bother me" when I'm
Not a very good
walking.
one then.
Well, I was distracted then.
My least favorite thing at the stores is the truncated dome bats. I just want to do with my
Truncated dome bats.
yeah, the mats. Those things
Oh.
with the little domes on them. They
Oh,
just what you want to do when you just bought fresh groceries to shake them to death.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
the curb.
I know what you're talking about.
So I always go out the Walmart past the little toys and the
Uh-huh.
grabber arm, because you go out that door and there's not any bumps. You can get past the bumps.
Oh,
I'm just bumping everything.
Speaking of bumps,
But it's supposedly to help people with low vision know when they're about to cross into where traffic
Right.
is. I think it's just some guy had this idea and knew
sold
somebody
Got,
in
yeah,
the
got
ADA
it put into the.
and got it put into the requirements,
yeah.
because somebody's making a killing on these things. It's funny. Some places require you to have them painted specific different colors. Like if it's for like blind people, they can't see the colors.
Well, but if they're hard of
I guess
seeing,
low vision people might be able to see the colors.
oh, you don't call
But like
them
the
hard of
city
seeing.
where our off work is, all the ones in that are black, which would make it really hard to see. And also, I've noticed in places where there's snow, it makes it really hard to scrape them, so they get slippery.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Good point.
But they didn't
They
ask
need
me.
heated ones.
I'm guessing it wasn't even a civil engineer that was involved in the implementation of this
Is it
One
uncivil?
awesome plan.
You run over one or two blind people, and they start implementing all
Usually
these
they
new
have
codes.
they're it's like
The big pillars that you have to walk through aren't clue that you're headed to the road.
as far as I've seen, blind people are very competent people that take their own safety very seriously, and can know what they're
Well,
doing.
plus they have those blind dogs.
Like, yeah,
The dogs aren't blind.
that's one of my favorite jokes about this guy walks in the store, starts swinging this dog over his head. It's like, what are you doing, sir? I'm just looking around.
Yeah. All right. Should we do nerdiculture?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think so.
So I came across an article at space.com talking about a guy who
Pigs in space.
he was inspired by someone who had submitted a Star Wars themed paper to some predatory scientific journals.
Oh,
Predatory.
So
like journals where
basically,
they charge you to publish your
Oh.
scientific paper.
yeah,
I didn't know that was a
basically
thing.
scientific
It's a big problem.
journals charge people to have a subscription to their journals and then have scientists publish papers to them, and they make their money that way by subscriptions. Well, some of them will have a free subscription so anyone can read it.
Oh,
But-
I've also heard that if you see an article, like just the title, if you contact the person that wrote it,
hmm
they're very happy to give you all the information you want.
They'll send you a free copy of it.
Yes, in PDF in your email.
So anyways, scientists are trying to get their things published.
right.
I don't know how many publish them through these free ones because I don't know how good those look on your resume. But the predatory ones care more about the money than they do about actually doing peer
reviewing the-
review and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Which is
And
why you'd
so-
have a publication for the peer reviews.
There was somebody that published a paper with some supposedly predatory scientific journals that talked about midichlorians.
Oh,
And so this guy thought that was a good idea, and he found 10 journals that seemed predatory, and so he was going to do a little bit of a sting operation to see what happened. So he said he wanted to do something with Star Trek, And since Star Wars used midichlorians, he was going to use something from Star Trek.
The lithium crystals?
That was very laughable.
Tribbles?
The worst episode from Voyager.
Oh, I was going to say from...
Can you guys guess which one that is?
Ooh, that's
hard.
hard.
The salamander one?
Yes.
Oh, is that the worst one?
That's my favorite one.
Pretty bad.
It's widely considered...
Janeway and her pilot have children, then abandon them on a planet.
But that's not how evolution
that's
works.
What TV
I know,
shows.
exactly. So...
Well, what about the original series where they de-evolved into different animals?
They did
that was in the next generation.
Next generation, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Deanna Troi turned into a frog.
Yeah.
They really had frogs on Beta Z.
They do.
There was some kind of...
They used to.
Well, she was only half Beta Z.
So she's half frog.
What's the
French.
French.
So I'm trying to find the article or the title of his thing that he submitted.
So basically, it was just like a made-up paper trying to see if you can get it published.
Basically, it was describing what happened in the episode. And instead of... He used the word celerity, which means extreme speed, which he referred to in quotes as warp 10.
Oh.
So he said all the authors he put on the paper were the characters from the show. So Tom Paris and Catherine Janeway.
Nice.
And
please say he quoted the doctor.
He didn't. I don't think he quoted Doctor.
Was Q on there?
No.
Q.
Q wasn't in that episode.
He was. That's why they turned into Salmon.
You just didn't know it was him.
All episodes have Q in them. You didn't know that?
So here's an example of one of the lines in the paper. Given we know now what to expect, we can impose the intense anti-proton burst regiment treatment early. We can build it into the shuttle as a metamorphosis compensator. So,
is that a line from the show?
That was from his paper.
Oh, that's horrible.
So he was explaining how now that they know that this happens when they
Oh.
exceed warp 10, they could, you know.
Oh, is that what caused it?
Yeah.
Yes, because they exceeded warp 10.
Wait.
That's what caused them to devolve.
No, they evolved.
Oh, yeah, evolved into salamanders.
Wait,
quickly evolved into salamanders.
Yeah. Well, Paris
that's what you're
started evolving to a
eventually.
salamander, and it made him go crazy, so he kidnapped Janeway, and he made her go warp 10 so that she would become a salamander
and
too.
then they had salamander babies.
Yes.
And then
that's what I remember, apparently, from
then
this
they
story.
got them in the next
And
scene.
they just
They were
abandoned them.
humans again.
Could they turn the babies into humans?
No.
No. I read some of the paper because I found some of it
That doesn't make any
online.
sense.
And he was talking about how, anyway, that they were able to have progeny, the experimental subjects. It was pretty funny. Anyway, a lot of these predatory journals are published in like Asia and Africa. And so they aren't familiar with Star Trek characters.
Sorry, I just Googled. Oh, here we go. Janeway and Paris's lizard babies.
They're love children.
What does it say? What season and episode it is? So
they could at least take it up with them.
So our listeners can watch it if they want to.
It's called Threshold, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that sounds right. Anyway, he submitted it to 10 papers. 5 of them he didn't hear from. One of them called into question the validity of the Starfleet medical. What do you call it? Shoot, I should usually
season 2, episode 15.
Wow, early on, huh?
Have they done that on? I guess they haven't done that on Mission Log yet. A long ways to go.
You can get a mutated Tom Paris action figure with 3 offspring.
It won an award.
It comes with
it won an Emmy
for
it won an
makeup.
Emmy. Oh,
the writing staff was dissatisfied with the quality of the episode.
Anyway, one of the papers noted that Starfleet Academy appeared to be a fictional affiliation. But he did get it published in one of the papers. So
People were offended by this. People turning into salamanders.
Salamanders were offended. Oh,
Star Trek has been analyzed by real-world scientists. Oh man.
Anyway, the guy that did this questioned why anyone would publish to predatory journals because it probably doesn't look good on their resume. But
yeah, so one of my favorite podcasts called Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, they talk about these journals, fake journals, frequently.
Yeah,
how they'll publish anything, including just like computer generated nonsense, will get published.
Yeah,
it's like
because they don't have anyone looking at it actually.
Right.
Because then they'd have to pay people to actually peer review it. That new science. He said some of the papers came back with like rudimentary markups, like someone that has a passing knowledge of
science,
physics, or biology or something. But none of them were able to catch that it was based on a fictional Star Trek story.
Oh, it's right there. It talks about it.
Yeah,
right there.
this Wikipedia article about that episode has
Mentions
a paragraph about that guy submitting it to
Did you put that on there
journals.
today?
I didn't.
Ooh, edited by Mr. Pold. Oh.
Is that a picture of him?
Yeah, that's mutated
When he's
Paris.
before he goes full salamander.
No, he's only half salamander.
Yeah. Have you seen the episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
I was excited. I thought Janeway was getting left on the planet as a salamander.
They just beamed Tom up.
Well, someone's got to raise the babies.
You just assume it's going to be the woman.
Well, she's the captain. She's supposed to take one for the team at the show.
Oh.
I think the hologram should have been captain.
I think he was
in one
command
episode.
one time. Anyway, that's enough about Voyager. Anyway, I thought that was quite humorous.
Yeah, that's funny.
And nerdy culturally.
Yes, I like it.
Oh. Nerd cultural? I'll stop talking now.
Oh, you have a tablet.
Yes, this is my new tablet.
Is it a newt tablet?
Turn me into a new tablet.
I got better.
So for Technerdy, there are several companies that are trying to get on the market flying taxis. So basically it's an Uber type thing, but it will pick you up and fly you in a quadcopter to your destination.
This is not a good idea.
Made out of a cat.
Yes.
So this company that this
ostrich.
Wired article is about is a UK company because it's wired.uk.co.uk. It's called
Yeah, because taxis on the ground are always so courteous and safe.
Vertical Aerospace. So it's an electronic vertical takeoff and landing craft. So it lifts off vertically like a helicopter and then flies like an airplane.
But it looks like a pterodactyl. And it just grabs you by the shoulders.
So they're
a VTOL, I think is what they're called.
It is. It's an eVTOL because electric.
A VTOL Raptor.
Oh yeah. So this is just their prototype. The final version won't look the same as this one in the article.
Well, like a Jetsons.
But their initial thing is going to be piloted, take up to four passengers, and they're thinking mainly it'll be for intercity travel. So you want to go to the next town over, you get on your app that's similar to like the Uber app and you request. So it won't be able to pick you up anywhere. There will be like...
It has to pick you up at the airport.
Well,
I delivered it to an airport.
No, so it won't pick up and deliver at like the big airport. They'll have hubs that are closer to where people live and work. So that's one of the things is since it takes off vertically, they don't need a big runway. So it could be on the top of the building you work in or
your house.
I think I'm of the same opinion as Elon Musk that this is not feasible.
Your neighborhood could have a landing pad where it comes and collects you and
you could be like pollen and they'll be like giant honeybees.
Yeah.
So you just get your Velcro suit on for the day, and then it flies back. You jump onto the side.
Yeah.
And they turn you into honey at the other end.
There's also a German company that is testing a similar system called Lilium or something.
I just can't picture mass transit in the air being safe.
Like airplanes?
What's different? They have very defined flight paths.
So
are regulated heavily.
Air
and are expensive.
Flying is much safer than on ground transport.
Right now it is.
Until you stop
Until you start putting hundreds of people in the air and taxi services up in the...
Well, it's going to build slowly. I mean, right now it's going to be from their hub to the hub in another city. So it's going to be a predefined flight path.
I think tunneling is way better.
Right now, there's just going to be... It sounds like there's one company per country.
We can't even have one accident with an automated vehicle on the ground and have it not shut everything to a grinding halt. You have one of these things fall out of the air or get hit by something else or take a bird in the engine and crash.
Well, so you think this will never, ever get off the ground?
So to speak.
Good fun, though.
Well, even if
it could work.
Even if we don't see it in the next few years, at least this is a good starting point.
It'd work better than the other idea, giant catapult.
The net.
With
a net on the other end.
That has actually been considered.
I've seen the result of that. They had this lady that was going to get catapulted into this net.
She overshot the net?
Yeah, because they thought
she lied about her weight.
After they tested their test weight,
she was actually
someone
lighter
adjusted
than she
it,
told
thinking
them
that they could make it a little bit better.
Oh.
After the test, and then
that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So the other big thing about this is that it's electric, so you don't have the combustion engine putting out pollution in polluted cities. So their concept is that this will charge during times where there's low energy demand, so that it will even out the grid for sustainable, like wind power, or they could charge it when solar power is at its peak or something to help the grid. So I thought that was kind of an interesting aspect to it. And yeah, they're saying basically electric flying vehicles could be to the battery industry what cars were to the petroleum industry, kind of like the technology to help their infrastructure build. So kind of interesting. The costs of energy and the cost of batteries is going down, and the power density of batteries is going up. So it's kind of a cool thing that you can do them parallel, as your battery technology advances, you also have advances in flying. The one thing about this, it said these things could go 50 miles an hour. So
would you have to electronically limit them to a specific path, or would you have them just crisscrossing?
Well, at first they're going to be piloted, so they'll probably have a flight plan.
It'd be like when I took the helicopter ride with my wife. They had to get tower clearance, and then he was reporting constantly with other aircraft to make sure he was the right altitude.
I'm sure they'll have that worked out, because if you crash one of these, you could gain a lot of speed falling and cause a lot of damage, more than a car crash. But
because our helicopter ride was for two of us, I think the price is like $400.
Okay.
So probably not the most efficient.
Right, but that's a tourist activity. If this is a company that's shuttling people back and forth, it's going to be cheaper just due to scale, and
because they'll have more people.
Yeah. It doesn't say how much it's going to cost. They asked the spokesman about that, and he said he just has no idea. But it will probably start off expensive and get cheaper over time. The only thing that gave me pause was watching the video of this thing taking off and flying and landing. It looked very shaky. Like I would probably get motion sick very quickly. So that might be something they need to work on. But
I think you want to eliminate the traffic congestion. Tunneling is the way to go. Because there's not limits as far as how many. It can go lots of tunnels deep.
Yeah. But what if we awaken the Balrog and it comes out? Just kidding.
Also, one thing like Elon Musk said about like people asked him about, or on Joe Rogan, I think Joe asked him about, well, what about earthquakes? It's like, well, if there's a storm in the ocean, where's the best place to be? He's like,
in space,
in a submarine,
Colorado.
You get below the surface, it's not the same wave action.
Well, I still want a hover bike.
But if everyone in your neighborhood had a hover bike too, it doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, but think about,
because storms,
Prius drivers.
If there's a storm, it's not the water in the ocean that's shaking, but if there's an earthquake, it is the ground shaking.
But the results underneath the ground is not the same as on the surface.
Well, because
has he been there?
I don't know.
He's boring right now. They're doing all kinds of.
This is kind of a boring conversation.
The
boring company.
The boring they just did recently in Seattle went horribly.
Well, they're doing it wrong.
Well, that they have the experts doing it, so it was probably the lowest bidder, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, using a huge, gigantic machine to make like 4 lanes of traffic through something.
Yeah, so you'd have to have, if you had a lot of people in the air, there would have to be some kind of interconnected system where they could not run into each other. But if you think about like all the cars on the roads, but then if you could spread all those out over all the area between the roads, that's really a low car density. Yeah, and you can go vertically also. So
a lot of volume.
I say my car breaks down, I coast to a stop.
You'd probably be more likely to hit a tree or something.
Because current aircraft go through strenuous like safety and maintenance.
Yeah, and these ones will have to.
And that's why you want it controlled by a computer.
That's why these are going to be company owned and not like personal vehicles.
One guy with an RPG.
Well, they could do that on a highway.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably the same likelihood that someone will get on a highway and shoot an RPG in the traffic.
Pessimistic as you about
as somebody
hacking my
air traffic
hover bike.
All right,
they don't do that to airplanes.
They've been talking about having personal flight capability for a long time.
But now the technology is getting close to where we could actually do it, where we have the battery power to sustain long distance.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, they're testing it in the UK and Germany right now. They're actually
just starting
flying them. So, and they're working through the, government regulation on getting these things approved. They got approved to test fly them. Then the next step is, getting them approved to actually take passengers.
Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. If we were
not in today's society. You can't break any eggs.
Well, otherwise, apparently there's people that are moving beyond that and actually testing new technology out.
Yeah.
But you can't have innovation if you're too afraid that you're going to...
I agree. But the way society is going now is you can't risk anyone's even minor safety. One person's life is not worth it. That's what people say.
Those people are stupid.
And there's a lot of them.
All right, that's Technergy.
Awesome. So this first news story, I was confused for a second. I thought the musical artist Seal had slapped somebody in the face with an octopus. Turns out there were some kayakers who were, I think they actually worked for GoPro and were testing some new cameras. So they're on their kayaks.
Mm-hmm.
They've said the seal came to the surface in a struggle with an octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Like the seal was trying to eat the octopus. And in the struggle, it got thrown, the octopus, and hit the guy in the face. And then the octopus climbed up onto his kayak away from the seal and was using the kayak
asking for asylum.
Yeah, basically.
Save me.
So one thing they learned is apparently octopuses and seals don't get along.
Not when one's trying to eat the other.
Octopuses tend to be intelligent, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
As far as animal kingdom.
Well, even the dumb animals don't like being eaten.
Right. Do they though? Maybe they don't care.
Eat me.
Maybe they don't realize it. Maybe they don't even realize it's happening.
Turkey's a bad example.
So my 6-year-old saw a house down the street putting up Halloween decorations, and he came home and he's like, "We got to get the Halloween decorations out." And I'm like, "Dude, it is September for a whole nother week." Anyways, so I got sent to the garage to find just the things you stick on the window, like the little cling things for the Halloween stuff. And I was looking in the holiday stuff out in the garage and found like a Thanksgiving thing with a turkey. I was like, "Oh, here, this is Halloween." He's like, "No, it isn't." I was like, "Yeah, that's actually a duck." He's like,
just up like a turkey.
He didn't buy it.
Must not have been a good costume.
Yeah. Horrible costume.
I was like, "It could be anything. It's a dog. It could, just dressed like a turkey." He's like, "No."
That's funny.
I don't think so, Tim.
Didn't buy it.
So that'd be kind of weird to see that kind of battle.
Yeah.
I've seen porpoises while canoeing around here.
I had a friend tell me that he was on a ferry, he was looking out the window, and he saw this seagull floating on the water. And all of a sudden, the sea lion came up from underneath it, grabbed it, and pulled it under. And he's like, "Whoa!" That's crazy.
Yeah.
My wife was watching a story or a show called
Stories.
I Was Prey.
Oh,
So it talks about people that are attacked by animals. And one of them is to this lady talking about surfing, and she's a mile off the shore surfing, whatever. And I'm picturing, okay, it's gonna be a shark. She got attacked by a sea lion. And when the boat that had pulled her out that far finally found her, when her whole jaw was broken and almost got her main artery in her neck, and she's bleeding all over the place. As they were pulling her out of the boat, the sea lion was coming at her and had been stalking her and tried to grab her before they could pull her to the boat again.
You got a taste for human flesh.
That's right. Not sure what you'd call it instead of jaws. It'd be
flippers.
So the next,
you gotta be careful of lions, actual lions swimming out there too.
Those are also dangerous.
Why don't we call them land lions?
We should. I haven't had a land lion in years.
I mean, let's start trying to remember to do that.
Land lions.
So the next news story, there is a company called Hennessy that takes pretty nice vehicles already and then modifies them to make.
I thought that was
cooler.
an alcoholic beverage.
It also is an alcoholic beverage. You'll probably get pulled over a lot if you're driving Hennessy. But they took a Chevy Silverado, I think, pickup truck.
That's what this one is, yeah.
Yep. And they called it the Goliath, and they made it a 6x6. So it's got 6 wheels, and they're not like a dually. They're one in front of the other. They're in series, not parallel. And it's all-wheel drive. So you got 6 driving wheels with 700 horsepower and like 700 foot-pounds of torque that will go 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds.
What?
But it only has 2 cup holders.
Right.
Oh,
just kidding.
And no DVD package. It is a nasty looking truck.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. So if you have lots of money and are in the market for an insane vehicle for off-roading, hint, Master Zed.
Well, they have
one of these.
They originally did a Ford Raptor,
right,
6x6. I don't know what that one looks like. I like the looks of the Raptor.
The reason why the Hennessy Goliath is, got more horsepower and stuff is just it's a bigger engine.
It's turbocharged.
Yeah, it gets like 7 psi. The Goliath does when it to the turbos, which is a lot.
There's the Raptor one. The Incredible Hulk, it's called.
It's not green.
Yeah, you should get a green one.
Yeah. It's cool looking.
Makes it hard to park at the grocery store, though.
Just park on top of other vehicles.
Oh, right. I'm waiting for one that comes out that looks like the Batmobile, like the newer ones.
Oh, you should make your XB a 6x6.
It would look like a roller skate.
Put the wheels in the middle next to us. No, I'm good.
Okay. Your loss. Ooh, this one goes on the beach.
I think most vehicles go on the beach.
Mine's
just getting them off the beach. It's difficult
when the tide comes in.
Even my little car went on the beach.
Oh,
I found out I can only get off by going in reverse.
They call the Ford one a Velociraptor instead of the.
No, Velociraptor is the Ford one. There's the Raptor, and then there's the special edition Velociraptor.
I didn't know they did that.
Yep.
6x6.
And I can imagine how expensive these are, considering how much just the Velociraptor is. That's like an $80,000 truck. Oh, there you go, $350,000.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be worried about beating it up if you paid that much?
Maybe instead of like hover vehicles, we should have like air wings that are pulled on little tracks from the ground. You're like covering on a big paraglider. Like Jurassic Park 2 or 3. I mean,
how about just water slides everywhere?
That'd be way
Zip
funner.
lines.
That's why I said zip lines with telescoping poles so you can change direction.
You just need one going each way. It's way more practical.
No, that's not as much fun.
Ford Ranger Raptor.
What if someone hacks into it and then you're like going back and forth? Really?
You get stuck in the middle.
Well, they're not going to have to be Wi-Fi. It could be hardwired.
Like, well, what if somebody shoots you with a rocket launcher?
There's a lot more people with hacker skills than rocket launchers.
Not as many as TV would make you think.
Although I do think that we should change the punishment for hacking to capital punishment. Because if I have to have one more convoluted way to log into one of my websites,
you hack
different
me
than every other way.
I'll hack you with this axe.
That's right. Jerks. And that's the news.
Okay.
I think I got some consumption.
You do. You've got more than us.
Well, I was sick for a week.
I'm in a drought right now.
I watched like 2 full seasons of a show. Of different shows.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm going to start with one that's not on the list because I didn't add it yet because I just finished it today.
Okay, DVD.
I finished a book.
I'll try not to fall asleep during your
Robert Jordan book. His book number 2 in the Wheel of Time series called The Great Hunt. And the Wheel of Time is a large fantasy work.
Well, I thought it was about Helen Hunt.
No.
Oh.
And there's
no
magic
hunt
in the books, but it mostly can be wielded by women. And if most of the time if men have the power to wield magic, they go insane and destroy things. Anyway, it's pretty good. I got the next book queued up, ready to read. So
cool.
And then I watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy since I talked about that last week. I had never seen this version of it. I'd seen there's like a BBC, I don't know if there's a miniseries or show that had it, but yeah, it was very strange, just like the book. So
I have the book on my
device,
Google Play Books, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I've read it years and years ago. I watched A Quiet Place. Because
I want to see it.
I own
St. Jimmy.
You can come over and watch it sometime.
That's another one I rented through Netflix. Then I didn't.
I'm telling you, just a Google Doc that has all of our movies we own on it would be very helpful. Do you guys anyone own The Hobbit?
Yeah, no, one of them, one of the 3, 2 of the 3. I don't have the last one.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
No, maybe I only have the second. I don't know. I don't have them at all. What's The Hobbit? Who are you people?
I recently have the DVD collection of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, the series?
Yeah.
What was funny was when I decided I'd better podcast from my home last week, my wife was like, well, maybe we could watch a movie while you podcast because it's quiet, right? There's actually sound in the movie, but
yeah, they use sound to great effect.
Yes.
In setting the scene.
But we kept joking with each other.
Right? Yeah.
We kept joking with each other. Can you turn the volume up? I can't hear what's going on.
Put subtitles on.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It wasn't, scary. So.
That wasn't scary?
No.
Oh.
There was a lot of
tense.
What's
tension?
Tension. No, what's a good word for it? Suspense. Yeah, it was very suspenseful. It was
about bridges.
Thriller.
Yeah, there's a bridge.
So
Is this suspension bridge?
It's no.
Oh,
I watched another weird movie that I said, what did I just watch? After I watched it, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I like it.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen it?
Very strange.
Hmm.
Very, very strange.
Is that the one where he wants to date this girl, but he's got to fight all her ex-boyfriends?
Yes. Rebecca, not ex-boyfriends, exes.
Oh.
Because there's one girl in there.
Oh.
She keeps correcting him when he keeps talking about the ex-boyfriends. She's like, no, exes.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway, it's got that one guy, Michael Sarah.
Tops.
I think because of the kind of...
Well, it took me way longer than I should have.
So I don't know
It's
if you're
like, what's
familiar
that
with
have to do
him,
with
but
baseball
he's
cards?
pretty scrawny, and
Yeah.
so it was pretty funny seeing him in this kind of role because apparently he's quite a ladies' man,
Okay.
which does not come off in the film. But
No.
excuse me. Okay, I watched season 2 of Luke Cage. It was pretty good. I liked it.
I'll have to try that one.
It's got a lot of rap music in it.
Oh, I really would probably like it then.
KRS-One shows up in it.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know he's still alive.
Well, he knows when to duck when the gunfire starts. So
Makes sense.
did you watch the first season?
Yes.
So they had this character, Mariah
Yes.
Lillard.
The one you want to
very,
die.
very evil woman. She's in this season.
Okay.
So if you want to see her get her comeuppance, it's a long time coming.
Does she have any salamander babies?
No.
Oh.
Not one even?
It is quite violent, so if you are offended by that, stay away. I watched the second season of The Good Place.
Oh.
Have you seen any of that?
No.
I saw
that
the
about?
first episode.
I find it quite humorous. It's one that I laugh a lot of the way through. They have a lot of...
There's one called The Good Cop that I've heard is good.
I don't think it's the same thing.
That
as The
has
Good
Tony
Place.
Danza in it.
I'm looking forward tomorrow for season 3 to come out.
Whoa.
Is this Netflix?
I watched it on Netflix. I watched season 2 on Netflix. Season 3 is going to air,
Oh, okay.
and I'm hoping to be able to see it on Hulu. So,
Okay.
if not, maybe I'll just go to NBC and watch it there. Because the cliffhanger is like, I need to see the third season. But it's funny. It's got Ted Danson in it.
Yeah.
And it's got... I don't recognize any of the other characters, actually, but they're very funny. It's kind of quirky. I think you might like it. All y'all.
Yeah, I'm just not into
Comedy.
sitcoms.
It's not really a sitcom.
Kristen Bell is the main
yeah.
chick.
Yep.
And William Jackson Harper's like her soulmate or something.
Yeah, so basically, you've seen the first episode. They show up in the afterlife, and Ted Danson is the guy that runs the place. And they're introduced to their soulmates and given a house, and hilarity ensues.
Because she's not actually supposed to be there.
Oh, spoilers.
Well, it's at the very beginning of the first episode.
Well, I can't watch it. It's spoiled for me.
Good.
No, it's... Yes, she is.
So it's like they have these administrators that set up these communities for people, good people that die. And it's Ted Danson's first time doing it. And he gets Kristen Bell because she has the same name as somebody that belonged there. But she is not a good person. Unclear.
You'll find out as the series progresses.
Oh, they actually let you in on that?
Oh, on what?
Where the person that was supposed to be there went?
You will find a lot out about the world that they have found themselves delivered to.
Oh. Okay.
Each season is different.
Huh.
Because major things happen at the end of the season that is total game changers.
Oh.
So
I didn't dislike it. I've actually been thinking about
I find it quite
trying more of
amusing.
it.
Have you watched this Santa Barbara diet?
No, that's on my list.
Is it Santa Clarita?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever diet. The one with I'm having a Frank Oz moment. Hold on.
It's what's her name?
She was in that movie we just watched.
Drew
Barrymore. There you go.
and Timothy
And Timothy
Oliphant.
Oliphant. It's so good. Anyway.
So I also started watching the Orville.
Oh,
I'm
No, that's good. Is that
2 episodes in. So
is that on Netflix now?
it's on Hulu.
Oh, okay. I lost track of it in between seasons. I didn't know
Oh.
when it was on anymore.
Yeah, it's quite entertaining.
It's very funny. I like it.
It's also amusing.
Yes.
It's got that gal that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you don't watch that, so never mind.
No.
She plays the first officer.
Okay.
And I noticed the doctor in the Orville,
Uh-huh.
she played a character, that actress played a character in DS9 for like half the season or series.
Huh.
I think she played like
Yeah.
Cisco's love interest or something.
Yep, I think you're right.
oh,
That's where I couldn't place her.
Yeah, I'm like,
Really.
I recognize
Captain-
her, but anyway, that's what I've been watching.
I watched half a movie, but I'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
I watched a full movie called "The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest." It's the final part of the Dragon Tattoo. It's actually called the Millennium series
Oh,
because the main character works for a magazine called Millennium, and it's about him investigating things and helping out this girl that is constantly in trouble because everybody is out to get her. And in this movie, you find out that people really are conspiring against her, and they find out that there's more people involved than they originally thought. And a lot of it revolves around her being on trial for something that happened in the second movie and them having to basically break this whole conspiracy ring apart to get her out of it. But it's really good if you don't mind watching subtitled movies in Swedish. Which
should I eat Swedish meatballs while I watch it?
these are the first movies that my wife has watched
Have to grow a big
the
bushy
whole
mustache
thing of
first.
where she had to watch it with subtitles.
Mm.
I can never get her to watch a subtitled movie, but this one intrigued her enough. And after, watching the first one, she was like, yeah, I want to watch the other ones. And Swedish is interesting because
Hold on, I got to answer this from my kid. Hello? Yeah.
He just put the engine.
car problems. So
It's bad when they start with, you know how
smoke
All right,
doesn't
well,
come out of the hood?
Where are you at?
So I've been listening to this History of English podcast where they talk
well,
about
since we're
the
get
English language. You start
Uh-huh.
with Old English and like the
oh
Anglo-Saxons and the
give me the
Normans.
link sometime. I want to hear that.
Yeah, it's really good. But there was a long period where part of the UK was controlled by, people from Denmark.
Yeah,
And then there was later a lot of Viking.
like the Jutes and
Yeah, a lot of Viking. They had a region called the Danelaw where they spoke like Danish. But watching or listening to people speak Swedish, there was a lot of times where they used words that were English words.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they would just say phrases in English like, "Are you okay?" Just because people use English phrases around the world, but they'd be just speaking Swedish, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's the same word we use." So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the movie. They're on Netflix. They call it a series because each movie is in 2 parts because it must have originally been like a mini series or something. But it's based on 3 books. And then they remade the first one as an English movie. and there's a new one coming out that's called The Girl in the Spider Web or something, which I don't know how that relates to the Swedish ones, but
Girl who ate Swedish meatballs.
So you got to go rescue your son?
Yeah, so I watched Iron Fist season 2.
Oh.
Or part of it.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
No.
Okay, so I can't talk to you about the end.
Nope.
Were they all...
Do you like it better than the first season?
I think so. I think I'm maybe 3 episodes in.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, he's just been watching football.
Yeah.
And
lots of football.
D&D podcasts.
I watched some highlights. I think that's might be my preferred way to watch it.
Oh. I basically...
It's like 10 minutes worth of... You see all the scores and all the big plays. And...
Yeah, I watch when my college team plays, and then I check out highlights and scores the rest of the time. It's pretty much all I get into.
Which, fun fact, my favorite NFL team, the Dolphins, are 3-0.
Fact.
And their nemesis, the Patriots, are 1-2.
Fact.
But the bad thing is the Patriots and the Dolphins played this week, and it would blow my mind if the Patriots lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens.
No one's got nerd cred.
Yeah, we can go...
I've got nerd cred, but it's similar to everything else I've ever done.
Feedback. So Master Zed commented on the picture I used for last week's show.
Oh, yeah.
He said that there were some good-looking folks in that picture. He was in it, so...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I was looking through pictures. You know, I try to, like, one week I'll look through DVD's pictures and grab one of his, and I'll look through yours. And I was looking through mine, and I was like, oh, I think I used this one. So I went on our website and looked through. I was like, oh, I didn't use it yet. So I grabbed it.
Huh.
So, yeah, it was he and I and our wives at your daughter's wedding reception.
Yes, my daughter.
So we're in fancy dress.
Thing. One with all the sprinklers.
Yeah, sprinklers were going off in the background. No. All right, so our 300th episode's coming up in under 2 months.
Wow.
So what we've been asking is
prolific.
For people to send us a short audio clip of themselves.
Has anyone done it yet?
No.
You guys, be early adopters. Send us something.
If we don't get anything, we're just going to write a short screenplay and
we're gonna
read it.
We're gonna produce a salamander.
We're gonna produce a horrible show if you don't.
Yeah, we're gonna write
on purpose.
Write a quick script and act it out. Where one of us will turn into a salamander,
or both.
Both.
Wait,
you're not gonna come. You guys can do whatever you want. Yep. So we're gonna need those soon, so we can start producing. Send those to enginerdyshow@gmail.com. While you're there, it's the Enginerdy Show at Gmail. Oh no, I'm confusing myself.
We'll make you famous.
The email is enginerdyshow@gmail.com. Our website is theenginerdyshow.com.
It's your first time.
While you're there, you can get links to our Facebook and Twitter where you can
interact with us.
We check that. And you can also click through to Amazon from there and do your Amazon shopping. That supports the show. And we haven't had any live listeners on YouTube since we started doing it again. So normally we do it Thursday nights. This week I texted a few hours ago that we were going to do it tonight instead, but I don't know that we've had any.
That's fine.
Listeners. Oh, we got a thumbs up. So somebody
did had something. A live watcher last week. I watched from my home.
I saw that you were on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you don't have to watch it live to watch the YouTube. You can just watch it on YouTube later.
But give it a thumbs up so we know you're there.
Yeah. Or if you're watching live, just
chat something to us.
Text something, chat something to us, and we'll see it. I've got it up on the side. So, and one last thing, go ahead and tell a friend about the show.
What?
Or if you don't have friends, tell somebody else.
Our listenership has gone up a lot recently,
or stop somebody in the store with their arms full.
Yeah,
and ask them for milk.
cryptically ask them for something.
Ask them, I heard your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
I need almond milk for my teeth. Yeah, right, lady. Thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
Live long and nerdy.
You have been, always shall be, my friends. And I got to rescue a kid.